Good morning, everyone. We will begin the morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters, asking God and Meishu-sama for protection and the permission to participate today in the divine plan of constructing a paradise on this earth. Let us pray together the Amatsu-Norito Prayer of Heaven, followed by the Miroku Prayer. Please stand. Taka amahara ni kamsumarimasu. Amurogi kamuro mino mikoto mochite. Sumeni oya kamu izanagi no mikoto. Tsukushi no imuka no tachi hana no. Odo no awagi harani. Misogi harai tamo toki ni narimaseru harai dono o kami tachi e moro moro no magagoto tsumi kegare yo harai tamae kiyome tamae tomao suko dono yoshio Amatsu kami kunitsu kami aoyorozu no kami tachi tomo ni ame no fuji koma no mimi furitatete kikoshimese to kashikomi maozu. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Oshie mi oya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Oshie mi oya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Kam nagara tamachi haimase. Kam nagara tamachi haimase. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized, with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan. Please be seated. We will now receive group Johrei.
Obrigado, Emerson. Amácio.
Johrei is now concluded. We will now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's teachings. A way to live. Priceless are those who always think of the welfare of others and pray for all the world. Those who forget their own interests and uphold what is right and just are the strongest, bravest people in the world. Narrow-minded are those who boast and make a great show of their merits and achievements. Since my early years, I have loved to make others happy, so much so that it has become almost my favorite pastime. My thoughts are always centered on how I can help others to become truly happy. I believe one of the things that helps me most in being able to enjoy the happiness I feel today is this mental attitude. For this reason, I continue to say and write, unless we make others happy, we ourselves can never become truly happy. I am sure that the greatest goal of our mission, the realization of paradise on earth, can be attained when this way of thinking has spread and is shared by all the people on earth.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters. This morning, I want to share with you the faith experience of Roberto Pinto de Mello. He's from the Santo André Johrei Center in Brazil. Roberto, who is now 73 years old, did not believe in God for most of his life. In 2018, his wife was worried because her stools had become very bloody. Two of their neighbors had previously introduced Johrei to them. Roberto decided to ask them for their Johrei assistance. Within a few days of receiving Johrei, the bleeding stopped. Upon getting results from medical tests, they learned that nothing problematic was detected. Roberto's wife continued receiving Johrei from the neighbors. However, she did not visit the Johrei Center. In January of 2020, Roberto visited a hospital emergency room due to an inflammation in his right big toe. For a period of 10 days, he took the antibiotics that were prescribed. However, there was no improvement in his condition. By April, the condition of his foot had gotten worse. Yet, because of the pandemic, he didn't return to the hospital for fear of contamination. His wife recognized the strength of Johrei, insisted that he receive it from the neighbors. Faced with the frightening situation in which he found himself, despite his lack of conviction, he chose to listen to his wife's persistent advice and consented to receive Johrei. Due to social isolation requirements, he was unable to go to the neighbor's house or receive visitors himself. Uniquely, because of the structure of the two homes adjacent to each other, the next door neighbors were able to stand at a window in a room of their home, while Roberto would place a chair on the roof of his house, so that there was only a mere distance of 6 feet separating them. It was at this time that Roberto realized that for Johrei members there are no barriers to practice of truly caring for others. Roberto then began receiving an hour and a half of Johrei daily. While receiving Johrei, he felt the sensation of pins and needles and tingling in his toes and leg. Fascinating, the condition of his toe improved, and his belief in the power of Johrei grew each passing day. The neighbors gave Roberto the link to our online services, and he and his wife began attending daily. In June of 2020, an obstruction of more than 70% was found in a vein in one of his legs that seemingly would require the placement of a stent, which is a small metal tube implanted inside a vein in order to facilitate blood flow. However, doctors considered the possible necessity of amputation of his toes, or perhaps even his whole foot. Yet, throughout it all, Roberto continued to receive Johrei daily and was able to witness steady improvement in his impacted right foot. In August, although he was hospitalized for the stent placement procedure, an ultrasound treatment determined that the obstruction had actually diminished to less than 50%, thus making a need for surgery unnecessary. Roberto's toe completely healed, and he was spared from having to undergo any further medical treatments. Roberto returned to his home and each day received the Johrei and the, appropriately attended to cleaning his foot. He also began the habit of reading the divine writings regularly and genuinely expressing his gratitude through monetary offerings. He came to understand that the severe purification that he encountered was actually the vehicle that used by the spiritual realm for his awakening to the existence of the invisible, to divine light, and the strength of Johrei, and the saving power of Meishu-sama. As an expression of their gratitude for the miracle received, Roberto and his wife, inspired, became Johrei members, with each receiving the sacred focal point of Hikari in November of 2020. Roberto is very thankful to God and Meishu-sama for the opportunity to have his fate changed, and mainly for having become a spiritually oriented person. He also thanks his neighbors, who would spare no effort in their gift of helping him through the daily Johrei. Roberto is very happy to be part of the Johrei family, and his commitment is to be a useful instrument for Meishu-sama in helping others and serving the construction of paradise on earth. Thank you very much for attending this morning service, for listening to this wonderful faith experience. I wish you a very wonderful day.
And this brings to a conclusion our morning service. Thank you everyone for joining us. We wish you a very blessed day.